On episode 5 of Music Marketing Monday, the topic is relationships. No, not with your spouse or your significant other. This is relationships with your fans and your music business connections. That's step 2 in the 3 steps to effective music marketing. Are you ready? Big hug. Come on, group hug. Come on. Come on. All right, on with the episode. Cue the music. Go for it.
Information, inspiration, motivation for the modern musicpreneur.
Time to start your week right.
Here it comes, Music Marketing Monday, with your host, Bob Baker,
Mr. Buzz Factor,
and Billy Gryzak.
the music marketing mind.
Ready? Are you sure?
Set.
Here it comes. Swing, baby.
Well, here we are again, episode 5 and counting. That's right, you pressed the button, you downloaded it, you know what you're going to get. Do you really? I don't know. But this is the show called Music Marketing Monday with your co-hosts, Billy Gryzak, the Music Marketing Mind,
And Bob Baker, a.k.a. known as also Mr. Buzz Factors in different places online. So, hey, Billy, we're back at it again.
yeah, it's really cool. We have like these cool names. We're almost like superheroes.
We are, yeah. I'm going to have to get a new cape for that, but sure, I'll go with that. So, do you ever think about how people are listening to this show? You know, I mean, you and I are big podcast listeners as well as producers of them, and I always wonder, like, are people like, are we in their earbuds in their ears? Are they walking, jogging? Are they working out? Or driving maybe on the road to the next gig in a car? You know, it's kind of cool to think about that.
You know, I honestly never thought about that. In fact, it's funny you should mention that because I was just thinking about that in terms of my music, the music that I make. And because, you know, I sit there, you know, go in the studio and I do a song and then it's out there. And then people will tell me, oh, yeah, well, we jump on the bed to that song. You know, like, well, this is kids' music, so they jump on the bed. You know what I'm saying? They bounce. They're bouncing on the bed.
Right. Different types of music could be a different story, but I totally get where you're coming from there.
Exactly, you know, and I never really thought about that. And it's really interesting. So I'll tell you what. Usually we ask people about their homework, but you know what I want to hear about? You can email us or send us Twitter. Tell us where you listen to Music Marketing Monday, or better yet, send us a picture or something.
Yeah, really, of you with your earbuds or behind the wheel or whatever. You can do a selfie while you drive as long as you're not moving. Okay, that's a prerequisite there. But yeah, is it while you're driving, while you're jogging, working out, working around the house? Maybe it is while you're jumping up and down on the bed.
On the bed. Or maybe this is TMI, Bob, but in the shower.
People do that.
I do. I've got like these big speakers, and I plug my phone in and I crank it up, and I listen to my podcasts. You know, what can I say? That's
as
what
long
I
as
do.
they don't use it like at nighttime as a cure for insomnia. That's the main thing. Like we want to remove from the
Yeah, let's not do that. Anyway,
yes.
well, let's see. I hear people, you know, like turning off, pressing stop, hitting fast forward, all over the place. So we better fix that right now. So we're in the middle. We're in the middle of a 3-part series, and you just kind of want to bring everybody up to speed where we've been and where we are and where we're going.
Yeah, and I highly recommend, of course, you listen to all the episodes, but in particular, if this is your first one, go back to episode 4, I believe, where we talk about the first of 3 steps to effective music marketing. It's based on chapter 1 of the Guerrilla Music Marketing Handbook, a little tome, I think that's the correct pronunciation, a book, perhaps, that I have written and published over the years. And so anyway, the 3 steps are, number 1 is creating awareness. That's what we covered last week. Next week, we're going to be covering generating revenue, and it's the asking for the sale, the making money part of it. But the important step in the middle that a lot of people overlook is the one we're going to talk about now, and that is building relationships. That's right. And that is actually, I think it's the bridge between creating awareness and generating revenue. Because like a big mistake that I've seen a lot of artists make is they come out of the gate maybe as, you know, an unknown artist or a new band or whatever, and they just put up an ad or start announcing on Facebook, you know, our new album's available for sale now. You know, and so they're creating awareness, I guess. They're asking for the sale, which is part of that step 3. But what are they missing in the middle, Billy?
Yeah, that's right, man. You know, I mean, who is actually out there listening?
Right. Yeah. So There's a number of factors, I guess, that go in this building relationships thing. And I guess I'm a big proponent of, DIY and direct to fan and all that. I was even direct to fan before it was cool. And so to me, the most important relationship that you can establish and build is the one with your fans directly. I have a feeling you might agree with that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, let's look at it this way. Let's suppose tomorrow all this technology just kind of went away. All right. So what are you left with? Well, people are still going to be singing songs. I mean, they sang songs in the dark ages. All right. So without all this technology, how could you go out there and actually get fans? Let's start with that. Well, you go out and you meet people. You go out and you play. You talk to them. You shake their hands. You encourage them to come out to the shows. I mean, it really starts there with real relationships with real people. But we have so many other ways and means to create relationships now. Sometimes I think a lot of musicians become overwhelmed with all the options and choices.
They do indeed, yeah. And I often tell people treat it like an all-you-can-eat buffet. You don't literally have to eat everything that's laid out before you, but you pick and choose, the stuff that resonates with you. You do little by little. Actually, that example you gave, let me give another one. You said, well, what if all the technology was gone? Well, what if you were a band? Let's say you were signed and you had all the traditional things, a manager and retail placement and radio airplay, but you also had a fan base. But what if all of a sudden your record label went out of business? And then there were no more chain stores, which is kind of happening anyway. And maybe your manager decided to fly off to Tahiti and grow organic vegetables. And you lost all these sort of industry type of things. But if you still had a fan base, your career is still fully intact. You have a lot of options and ways to continue your career without even radio, suddenly.
Absolutely
change.
Well, I'm going to jump in right there, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give everybody some serious advice. That lately I've been doing these live internet. I call them shows, or marketing concerts. Basically, is what I'm doing. It's I do this thing called Concert Window, where I'll go on and people can pay whatever they want, and I'll do different topics. The topic I've been doing for the last couple of weeks is 10 things you can do right now to get to the next level. And my first tip is, so you have all these people on Facebook, you have people on Twitter, whatever, great, fantastic. But the first thing you got to do right now, right this minute, is contact every one of those people and ask them for their email address, because any day something horrible could happen, and it's called the Myspace syndrome.
Yes, or the mp3.com syndrome.
Oh my gosh, that's right. And imagine one day you have, 100, 500, 5,000, 10,000 fans, and you wake up tomorrow and they're all gone, and you have no way to contact them.
Right. I think there's a writer, over at this website called Copy Blogger. I think her name is Sonia Simone, but I think she refers to it as digital sharecropping. Mm-hmm. I think, and that's basically where you're just, using land that isn't yours or real estate on land that isn't yours to set up camp, and it can be taken from you at any time. And so don't rely on your Facebook likes, or your followers on Twitter or whatever to be your direct connection. So actually one of the most important components on my list of building relationships is email. And so absolutely, you need to be building that list. So there's actually different components of it. It's collecting the names for one, both on your website and at live shows. Yes. Then it's making sure those names, if you're collecting them the old-fashioned way of them, filling out on a piece of paper or something, you then have to enter them into the database. That's a very important step. There's a lot of bands will collect them but not enter them, and then you have to send stuff to them.
Oh man, this sounds like a lot of work, Bob.
No, it is, and it is. It doesn't have to be a lot of work, but it's important work for your career. But that's one of the most important ways to stay in touch with people. So there's key elements to this relationship thing, but a lot of it is repetition over time. People have to come to become familiar with you and know that you're in this for the long haul. And so hearing from you repeatedly through different sources over time is one really good way to do that. And email is probably one of the most direct way to do it. Absolutely.
So electronically, of course. I mean, building relationships face to face is still in my opinion, the greatest of all, because, when you see somebody shake their hand, give them a hug, dance with them, whatever, I mean, that's pretty powerful stuff, and we should never lose that. But you got to know how to contact them. And another thing that I like, as much as email, if not more than email personally, is, I'm a big fan of trying to collect cell phone text numbers. Because some people don't check their email all that often. Let's say you have a last minute show in a town and you have some fans and you've got their permission to text them. You could actually get some last minute people to the show where they might not check their email for a couple of days, but they'll get that text. So whenever possible, I always like to give people a text option as well.
Yeah, and I know you've been really good about doing that and collecting them at gigs and having people actually text you, while you're on stage and all that. And so if you have a way to manage those numbers and segment them into regions and all that, then go for it. I know there's probably I don't know what all the options are of managing those things.
Well, the simplest thing to do for me with the texting is I just put in a plain old spreadsheet, and then I just know the area code where I'm going, and then I just do a sort. I find the area code, and then I just shoot them out. You know what I mean? So it's pretty simple for me. Hey Bob, I know I don't want to get off the track too much, but I have a question for you. It's been really burning in my gut here.
I have no idea what he's going to ask, folks.
No, we don't plan this stuff. I mean,
not at all.
They're hearing it just the way we're hearing it. That's the way we roll. But I'm like this over-the-top marketer guy. You know me. I mean, just one step below an indie racer. I don't walk out there with Menards plastered all over my shirt and Pepsi on my hat and stuff. I'm just a step below that. Because I do go out there. And I do put things like, I put my Facebook logo up on stage, and I put my text number up on stage, and I put my website address. So, I mean, when people look at the stage, and if I have merchandise, I have it placed kind of near the stage because I know people will be looking in that direction. And I've heard a lot of people not coming to me and saying, that's a bad thing to do, but a lot of people seem to think that, just putting that message out there is bad. It's not cool. It's unhip. It's like, am I wrong or what's going on here? Because I think people need to know when you're out in public how they can reach you.
And so what is the message that you're putting out that people don't like? Again?
Well, a lot of the younger musicians think that if you do anything, like even wear your own T-shirt or you put your website address on the stage or anything like that, it's like, advertising, and the show should be pure, and you really shouldn't be marketing yourself. But isn't the act of just going out and playing marketing in itself?
I mean, it is. It's definitely, yeah. I mean, that's a part of that creating awareness is you're getting in front of people. I mean, the whole idea is you want to share your music and you want to connect with people. And so, yeah, you can do that face to face, but if they're, depending on the size of the crowd, you may not be able to get to everyone and shake their hand and say hi to them. So, yeah, give them away. Make sure your name is they know what band they're listening to. So, I mean, like stage banners and things that are either behind the band or hanging in front of the stage, those are age old. Those are really old school tools. And so I'd be surprised. I mean, you're always going to have those overly sensitive musicians that they are overly paranoid about being perceived as being greedy, and yeah, I guess you can take it too far, but as long as you're kind of halfway cool about it, which most musicians are because they're so afraid of offending people,
right.
That I mean your band name, your website, and a call to action to contact you or follow you on or get on the mailing list or follow you on Facebook or something is cool. Yeah, I mean, and that's part of that. Creating awareness and building your career. So, yeah, for the most part, I think people are just too sensitive about that.
Excellent. Okay, so we want to go out there, shake hands, and kiss babies.
Yes, indeed.
We want to get email addresses.
Yeah, and now then send to people, and you want to actually email to them at least once a month as my recommendation. Twice a month if you've got more going on, and you're not too squeamish about just sharing your life and your music with people. There's also a lot of other little subtle things too, just like responding, like having an email address either on your business cards or on your website that someone actually checks on a regular basis. Responding to email, whether it's from fans or from people in the business who want to book you or whatever. I mean, I've been doing this interview show that I've mentioned before called The Creative Entrepreneur.
Yes.
And so I'm reaching out Well, I started off, reaching out to people that I already knew, but I'm reaching out more and more to people that I don't have a relationship. Just people that I think would be cool to interview, and they're on all sorts of fields, or musicians and visual artists and all this stuff. And it really amazes me how many people, you go to their website, you find the way that they prefer to be communicated with, and they don't even respond to me. I want to give them free exposure. And some people are actually the higher the profile person, quite often they will get back to me. And even if they can't do it, they'll at least acknowledge, hey, thanks a lot for the invite. I'm really booked right now. Get back to me in the fall or something. But some people I never hear back from at all. And so use an email address or a contact form that someone actually checks and respond to those things. Acknowledge people, simple stuff on social media, like on Facebook. Just if a fan comments on one of your posts or a new thing that you've posted on your fan page, at least click the little like button, but even more, comment, interact with people, get a conversation going. It doesn't have to be a whole book. A sentence or two is fine, but there's little things people go, wow, I heard back from the lead singer or the guitar player or whatever. That will thrill people, and they'll feel like now they have an even deeper connection with you other than just being a distant fan. And
I totally agree. In fact, if you really want to blow your fans' mind and make a fan for life, if they shoot you an email and if they actually put a phone number in there, if you follow up an email with a personal phone call, oh my gosh, it's like this is you? This is really you? You're calling me? Oh my gosh,
right.
It's crazy. The act of just picking up the phone because you got a text or a Twitter or an email, and you actually give them a personal phone call, blows people's minds in a very good way.
Right. But even if if people are squeamish about that or they don't have the time or whatever, I mean, that'd be great if you could do something like that.
Sure.
Or a lot of artists over the years have collected fans' birthdays and will actually send them a special message on their birthday.
I love that.
That takes a little bit of an extra step to collect that information and follow through on it. But if you can do it, it's pretty special. But basically, if someone because especially online, again, we have said the best form of communication is face to face. So when you play live, make sure on your breaks before and after the show, you're walking around talking to people, not just your little circle of friends and buddies that you always hang out with anyway. Go up and make it a point to meet so many new people. Go, hey, how'd you hear about this? Thanks so much for coming out. Love to stay in touch with you, get on the mailing list, whatever. But, so people will feel a connection. But online, it's harder to recreate that sort of face-to-face chemistry, and so you have to work a little harder. But still you can feel like if, like when I get an email back from somebody that I reach out to, there's a guy named Chris Gillibo. And he has a book out called The Art of Nonconformity, also the $100 Startup, which are on major publishers. He has this annual event in Portland called the World Domination Summit. And he's like a really cool dude that's kind of high profile, and thousands of people come to Portland to this annual event. And I reached out to him to invite him to be on my show. And within minutes, he shot an email back, and he was one of those guys that said, I can't do it now, but hit me up in August or whatever, and I'd be happy to do it. But I could admire this guy, and I heard back from him like, wow, he actually responded to me, and I kind of felt a little bit closer to him, even though
here you are, you've been doing this forever, and just the act of, that quick response. I got to tell you, quick response is just not for strokes and heart attacks.
Yeah, 911 calls.
Quick response, first responders, man. If that's another thing. I can't tell you, when I've replied to an email within minutes of getting one, I almost always get the gig.
Right? Oh yeah.
Yeah. If people call, people send me email, Billy, are you available for a show on, August 15th? If I email them back within 5, 10, 15 minutes of them emailing me, they are just blown away, and 9 out of 10 times I get the gig. Right. And also when it comes to a fan. And I'll tell you something great. You want to build relationships? Here's a little trick I learned back when I was sort of out of the music business for about a year. I was had some health issues, and I had a marketing company, and we built websites for other forms of businesses, right? And I was doing a website for this giant coal mine, believe it or not, a coal mine in Wyoming. And the director of marketing used to always say to me, well, thanks for doing all this, Billy. What can I do for you today? And I adopted that and I made that part of my email signature. And it's like, I write my email and then it'd say, before it would say, Billy in my contact, it'd always say, is there anything I can do for you today? And then it would have my name and signature. And you'd be amazed at what that does, because most people, I don't know, I don't think they expect artists to reach out and ask them if they could do something for them. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you, that has really paid off. And I mean it. I'm not just using it just to say it. I mean, if somebody asks me for something, I'm going to do it for them, because they're spending their time, their money, on me, and I'm grateful.
Right, you're very giving, and along with that is this is also sort of overall thing, but is to always be thanking your fans and praising them, and actually turn this fan worship concept, reverse it and turn it on its head. And most people think of fan worship as the fans worshiping the artist up on a pedestal, but if you worship your fans, praise them, shower the people on their mailing list with free stuff here and there, you will go along. It's not just about making announcements. We've talked about before. Your communication shouldn't just be, hey, new album out, got a gig this Saturday. It's also, hey, you guys, and I always speak to them one-on-one, not as a group, especially in email. I mean, if you're at a live show, you're speaking to a group. So, but that's another little email writing or copywriting tip on your website or in your email. Speak to one person. Thank you for coming, not you guys.
Oh yeah, you're a master of that. I'm sorry, I know I'm talking all over you here, but I just gotta say, right. you are Bob Baker is the master of that. I've told you offline, not when we've been recording, that when you send out emails, I have the hardest time figuring out if this is like a mass email or you're actually sending me something, because you're so good at it.
Well, thank you.
You're great at your subject lines and in the body, because there's nothing worse than getting an email like this. I mean, it's a nice attempt, but like, hello, Bob. It's really great to see you, Bob. And we're going to be coming to St. Louis, Missouri, Bob. Yep.
Yeah. I love the sound of Bob, but that gets a little overbearing after.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And especially when they use those old email programs where it's not even the same font as the rest of the message,
And especially when you're sending an email to Sheila, the Bob thing would really throw things off.
Gosh, Well, listen, man, I know we get a little chatty in the show because we enjoy doing this so much, and I have a tendency to derail us because that's my job. But so where are we at? What did we learn today? And let's give these guys some homework.
Yeah, so it's about building relationships. So it's communicating with people, and it's also about staying on their radars over time. So it's not just about one-on-one or one little interaction with people, but repeatedly doing that over time, and that's what builds the relationship. People do business, or people support artists that they know, like, and trust. So they have to come to know you, both musically and maybe something about your personality and what you do off stage too. And then if they actually felt like they had a personal interaction with you, whether face to face or online or by email or in a comment thread or whatever, that will help cement that bond. And so I guess as far as homework goes, when you think number one would be, if you don't have an email list, to start one. If you have one, go get a little bit more serious about collecting the names, and then also communicating with those people on at least a monthly basis. That'd be my number one piece of homework.
So if you have a mailing list, what we'd like you to do is send out a message this week. Okay?
Yeah.
All right? And if you don't have a mailing list, start a mailing list. And if you have a mailing list you've been neglecting and you've been letting social media do all the work, run to your computer right now. And, well, not right now. I mean, if you're driving, don't do that, or you're in the shower. Don't want you to slip. But we want you to get as many email addresses of the people that like you on Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest and Instagram, so that in the event that ever goes down, that real estate is taken away from you, you'll still have a way to connect with those people that are your fans and that you have relationships with.
Right, and just tell them, hey, I really want to stay in touch with you and keep you posted on all the cool stuff we have coming up. And let's not rely on Facebook to do that, and give them an incentive, give some free stuff that they'll get when they sign up. Another thing, a little piece of homework that I think everybody could benefit from is just put on the calendar, carve out like even if it's just 15 minutes every day, to do like a laser blitz of checking your email and responding to it, and then going through whatever your main social media sites are, whether that's, if it's Facebook and Twitter, then, just go through that stuff really quick and respond to people. Just quickly, just saying, hey, thanks for the comment. Short and sweet is fine. Just respond to people. Click the little like button. Just acknowledge that you saw it. So interact with people. It doesn't have to take a long time. Just 15 minutes a day. Put it on your calendar, so it's a priority, and that'll go a long way. You do that every day for months on end, and you'll have a growing fan base before you know it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, well, Bob, what do you have going on this week?
Well, let's see here. What do I have going on this week? Maybe I should have thought of this before. Just all kinds of good stuff at thebuzzfactor.com. I'm having a good time doing those video music website critiques that we mentioned last time. I've done several of them, and I find that I really enjoy it. And I've gotten some
why
good
don't you
feedback.
just refresh everybody's memory and tell them what it is you're doing and what the offer is?
Yeah, well, basically, and I'm not sure the price point. I had an initial offer at a discount, but I might be at the time to raise that. So, but basically, what I'll do is for a modest fee, I'll send you a list of questions by email, so you can tell me what your sort of priorities and your goals are with your website, and then I will go over it with a fine-tooth comb, and I'll create like a 15-minute or so video critique, where I'll just go through it, piece by piece, and tell you what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, how to make it better, and it's proved to be very helpful for folks so far. But just go to thebuzzfactor.com, look over in the right-hand column for a website critique, little image, click that, and it'll take you to all the details.
Beautiful. And, you can follow me, of course, Twitter, Music Market Mind, or you can find me at musicmarketingmind.com. And this Friday, I have a very special episode of the Mad Music Marketing Minutes. I have Steven Zellin, the singing CPA. This guy is awesome, Bob. You got to interview this guy. He's awesome. He's actually my CPA. I've known the guy forever, but he's a CPA. He's a marketing guru, and he's also a performer and songwriter. And he's in New York. And he's going to be talking about tax tips for musicians, because guess what? It's time.
Yes, that time of the year.
It's that time of the year. So check that out. That's going to be the Mad Music Marketing Minutes. You can find that on iTunes and Spreaker and YouTube and wherever fine podcasts are found. So there you
served.
Go. All right.
Yeah, this is great. I'm glad we're hanging in there every week, cranking out good stuff for the good people out there.
Yeah, man, we love you guys, and we want to develop relationships with you. So please, man, keep the cards, letters, and if you want to use the hashtag, what is that again?
Music MM. That's the number sign. Music MM. Use that on Twitter to get in, have a conversation about anything we talk about on the show.
Sure, or just hit us up at wherever we are, because we're all over the place. All right, well, that's a wrap. We're heading to show number 6, I guess, right?
We are, yes, and we'll be back next week again with the making money. I wonder what that could be about.
I can't wait to hear that show, because I could use some.
Yeah. No more starving artists. Get that out of your head. It ain't happening. All right, it doesn't exist. All right, see you later. Bye.
Bye, everybody. See ya.